Okay, for this module, so our topic is about capital investment. Okay, so basically when we say capital investment, so this is defined as the decisions related with the process of planning, setting goals and priorities, arranging the financing, as well as using certain criteria to select a long-term asset for investment, okay, and other purposes, especially for operation, which will provide benefit to the organization in the form of financial benefits. Okay, so capital investment decisions normally place large amounts of resources. Okay, of course, since this is or this requires a huge amount of capital, it takes along with it risk, because we are talking about investment, and since this is a long-term asset, so basically this risk will be considered for long periods as well. Okay, so and simultaneously it also affect the future development of the firm, okay, whether it will or this investment will provide the expected benefits, or they can earn, okay, something out of investing and using such investment, or not at all. So they are, our capital investment decisions are among most important decisions that managers and the owners and other stakeholders as well should make, okay, in an organization. So here, every organization has limited resources, so you know that. Okay, this should this should be used to maintain or enhance its long-term profitability, so that the enterprise will also be in business for a long period of time. So if there is poor capital investment decisions, so this is costly and risky, as well as it will also lead even to the closure of the organization if the losses are very high, okay, in the long run. So the expectation is that capital investments will enhance the profitability. So this is one thing that the managers and the management should also consider first, okay, before they take or invest in a particular project. Okay, so it should not reduce the profitability as much as possible. Okay, so this is the main objective of good and sound capital decision making. So the process of making the capital investment decisions is often referred to, so this is the other term for our capital investment. So this is also called as capital budgeting. Okay, so there are actually two type of capital budgeting that we will consider for capital decision making. So these two capital budgeting projects are, we have first the independent projects, and second is the mutually exclusive projects. Okay, so when we say independent projects, okay, so these normally are the projects that if the organization will accept or reject it, they do not affect the cash flow of the other project, because in this case, they are viewed and they are considered to be independent from the other projects or operations of the organization. Okay, so suppose that there is a proposal of additional new product line. Okay, so a product line may be in the form of a new division or segment that is also related with that of the existing division. Okay, however, this is viewed as an independent project which will not affect, okay, the other projects, okay, the existing or even those which are also being proposed, okay, at the moment. So here, the acceptance or rejection of one product line will not require the acceptance or rejection of the other product lines. So because in this case, they are considered to be independent. So meaning to say, we are just looking into accepting or rejecting for that particular project without referring to the other proposals, okay, being provided or offered, okay, to the management. So therefore, the investment decisions for the product lines are considered to be independent of each other. Okay, so again, it's like if, for example, there are two or three or more product lines that are being proposed, okay, to be accepted, rejected. Okay, so the acceptance or rejection, I mean, of one product line will not affect, okay, our decision with that of the other proposed product lines. Okay, so this is the feature of the independent projects. Okay, so it doesn't mean that, for example, if we will reject proposal 1, we will accept proposal 2. This is not the case here under the independent project. So again, it will not affect our decision, okay, for accepting or rejecting this particular proposal compared to that of the other projects. Okay. So here, what about for mutually exclusive projects? Okay, so in this case, this is the opposite of the independent projects. So for mutually exclusive projects, those projects that, if accepted, this will preclude the acceptance of all other competing projects. So here, meaning to say, for example, if we have two projects that is being proposed, if we can only accept one project. Okay, so meaning to say, if we will reject proposal 1, then proposal 2 will be accepted and vice versa. Okay, so here the management will only be selecting one, okay, out of all the proposed investment, okay, or projects. So this is the feature of our mutually exclusive projects. So for example, okay, for another example, so a company may be faced with the choice of continuing with its existing manual production operation or to replace with an automated system. So here, the organization will have to choose between replacing the existing automated system or the existing, manual production with that of the automated system. So they have the choice either to continue what is being practiced, that is the manual production, or to change that into an automated system. So here, once a system is chosen, either manual or automated, so the other will be excluded. Okay, so here, this is what we are talking about, okay, when we say mutually exclusive projects. Okay, so they are mutually exclusive. So meaning to say, accepting of one project will eliminate the other. Okay, so you have to understand this concept under the mutually exclusive projects. Okay, so therefore, capital investment decisions typically are concerned with investments for long-term capital assets. So when we say capital asset, we refer this as our long-term asset or the property, plant, and equipment, okay, which is being used for a longer period of time and which also requires a large amount of investment, okay, before they can purchase it. Okay, so this capital investment or capital budgeting is related to the investment of those long-term or capital assets. Okay. So, with the exception of land, of course. Okay. So, these assets depreciate, you know that, right? Or PPE. Okay, they are subject for depreciation over their useful life. So, the original investment is used up as the assets are employed. So this is the feature of our long-term or non-current assets. So in general terms, a sound capital investment will earn back its original capital outlay over its useful life, and at the same time, it will also provide a reasonable return on the original investment. So this is the good and sound feature of capital investment. So the management or the organization should make sure that upon investing for that particular long-term asset, they should have to earn something back, okay, or reasonable return, okay, out of their original investment. Okay, so here, before accepting normally of the project, there are some tools and techniques that the management will use in order for them to determine whether to accept or reject that particular proposal. Okay, so in those techniques and tools, you will learn if that investment will yield a return or not at all. Okay, so this is the purpose of capital investment or capital budgeting uh, decision making. Okay, so the organization will not just jump and invest into something that the risks are not actually calculated, even the benefits, especially, okay, before accepting or investing, because here we're talking about long-term period of time and a huge amount of capital. Okay, so thus a manager should decide on the acceptability of the independent projects and compare competing projects on the basis of their economic merits. So we can use the return, the risk, the cost, the benefits, okay, even the uh, period of time in which we can recover the cost of the investment. So you will learn more of that in our next video lectures. Okay. So here, uh, okay, so that's all, okay, for the introduction on our capital investment or capital budgeting.